All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Peak to Middle School. My name is Narwhal.
My name is Kyle.
And my name is Murtaza.
Oh, he did it. He did it on his own.
I know.
This is the first time.
I'm just a natural at this.
Usually the guests, they're all sitting there, all scared and what's my name?
No, not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I'm on public TV right now. My face is gonna be shown all over YouTube.
To 40 people.
To 40 people. You know what? That's 40 more people than usual. So I'm excited.
So, this is Murtaza. He is possibly the most interesting man in the world. I think it's safe to say that there's the Dos Equis guy. There's Steve. I feel like it's pretty close to that. And then there's Murtaza right underneath that.
Just I'll take that. I've made it to the top 3. So
yeah, I don't know. Murtaza's a guy that this podcast, this 1 hour, is not going to do it justice. You really have to know the guy to just know the intricacies of his life. He's just a strange guy.
Everybody says that for some reason. They're just we can't really describe him to you. You just gotta meet him. And I'm damn, you're really hyping me up right now. But I'm down. Hopefully, I live up to it. So
Taz is the guy. When he came to my house today to do this podcast, it was the perfect example. Because he hasn't been in my house in a long time. He's been really busy with school. I didn't live here for a year, so he was all right, send me your address so I remember how to get to your house.
Mm-hmm.
So he gets here, and then he calls me because he's here or whatever, and I walk out and he's over at this cottage that's on our property, but it's not our house. It's my parents rent it out to these other people, and he's I'm Taz. He's oh shit, and apparently, what happened? So you knocked on these people's door? It was just
okay. So basically I've never been to this podcast studio before, right? So I assumed that the secondary little cottage that you have over there was your new podcast studio.
That'd be dope.
So I just peeped my face and literally just stuck because I assumed John would be in there. I was literally just face deep looking around looking for John, and I was gonna start yelling John, and then I see a guy come in, so I'm oh, that must be one of his friends. So I just started knocking viciously, obnoxiously, and then guy comes out looking really confused. He's like, hi. And I'm just and I see a woman come up too. And I'm okay, neither of you, this does not look like his sister either. So it's who are you guys in my mind? But I was just so can I find John Farrar? And they're just over there, sir. And then I see John just walk out shirtless, flexing his gains from the gym from 3 long months at the gym.
Not quite, but,
but
Toss is just he... in the best way possible. He's just so shameless. He's not afraid.
He just kind of goes for it.
Yeah, he if I go somewhere and I don't know what to do or I don't know who to talk to, I'll sit in my car and mentally gather myself and be all right, I'm gonna go knock on this door, ask this person this question, rehearse it all in my mind. Yeah. And I feel Utah's, you're just fuck it, I'm just gonna go talk to people.
Dude, I don't know what it is, but even for stuff school presentations and all, usually all my group mates are always just we gotta practice this, we gotta come in and rehearse and stuff, and
just fuck it, I'm gonna show up.
Well, the thing is when I go into practice and rehearse, I fuck up so many times, but every single time I've been in front of a class or anything, as long as I feel confident with what I've written on the presentation and my bullets, and I feel I have a deeper understanding knowledge I can teach these people, it just works so much better if I don't practice at all and just freestyle it, because then it feels you're just having a conversation with your audience versus a scripted oh, this is what I have to say, this is what I can't miss. It just I feel freestyling, it just always just works better than thinking.
You're a good
stuff.
bullshitter then.
Yeah, I mean,
Taz is a really good bullshitter.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's kind of the pressure and the hype of the moment that it's an important thing makes you almost do better.
Yeah, and I feel when you script things too, sometimes for example, this podcast, we don't you guys don't really script things. You guys just have some things that you want to talk about. But I feel when you try and script it and then when you mess up that script, then you start freaking out and you're oh man, how do I recover?
And then it gets awkward and robotic. Yeah.
You kind of learn that.
And I feel even if you script something and you go over it 1,000 times and you know it word for word, you can still tell the difference between a scripted thing and something that's not scripted.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if the scripted one is done well, it just doesn't sound as good.
It reminds me of all the moments in a bunch of TV shows and movies when they're giving a wedding speech and then people just throw down the cards and then you just tell it from the heart.
Yeah.
And it just becomes all emotional and it's just so much better than just reading off what they've written.
What
it's
if you
funny.
just can't think of anything to say? You're you know what? I don't need this card. You're
And then he's
then you look at the crowd,
wait.
you realize there's 100 people here. You just
No, see, Toss would thrive in that though. Honestly, if I could pick someone to like give a speech at my wedding, just like basically be my hype man and like give a speech about my life, I would want Taj to be the guy to do it.
As long as I'm not too fucked up, I could probably do it. But if I was at your wedding, I feel like I'd definitely be very unless it was like a Christian like religious person wedding where people aren't just hammered, then I'd be respectful and stay very sober. But
Speaking of, it is
Yes.
currently Ramadan.
Not Christian, but
Well,
Not Christian,
speaking
but,
of
close.
the other religion, so it's currently Ramadan. Is that correct?
yes, it started on May 5th.
Okay, so
whoa.
So during the NBA playoffs, there's this one guy on the Portland Trailblazers who's Muslim, and he,
What's his name?
Enes Kanter.
Enes Kanter.
Okay, I don't know him, but,
Yeah.
it
But
doesn't matter.
He's like a, anyways, he was like the starting center for the Portland Trailblazers, and I guess it was like this public news that, like, it was Ramadan, and he made it public that, like, obviously he hasn't been eating from like sun up to sundown,
And drinking too, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah, so you can't basically you can't eat from sunrise to sunset, and you can't drink water either. So it's
you can't
basically
drink anything, like
so,
anything.
So basically all the rules, there's actually a lot of different rules like that play in a factor. Those are just the two most basic ones that like everybody knows, but it's like no food from sunrise to sunset, and like depending on where you are in the world, that can be like your days can be 6 hours long, or it can be 17 hours long.
What if
like
you live in
here.
Alaska or something?
Yeah, if you live in Alaska, like it's recommended that you just basically like move and do Ramadan somewhere else. But like most people aren't gonna do that. Like but like so your days, if your winters are super long, that means your Ramadan is a breeze and a joke. 'Cause it's like you're fasting for like under 5 hours a day. But like here right now, when it's in the summer, it's like
Yeah.
17 hours a day.
That's hard.
Because
Yeah,
never
because
thought about that before.
the sun rises super early, and it's literally like
Yeah.
9 o'clock at night. And you're probably just like sitting like, come on, get there.
yeah.
What kind of stuff do you guys eat? Is there like traditional stuff?
So like typically you're supposed to like most like devout Muslims usually like in the month of Ramadan go to like mosque every single like night, and usually like one family like hosts the entire meal for all like 200 or whatever people that like show up, and like
okay.
they either get like catering. My mom's also like my mom's like a private like caterer / cook, so like when it's Ramadan she makes bank because they just cater it through her, so she's cooking
Oh, that's
literally
dope.
every day. Yeah, so she's making racks during Ramadan because it's just like super like, because I mean, and she doesn't have anything better to do because like most people when they're fasting they just kind of stay inside. They
Yeah.
don't really like, because it's hard if it's hot outside to like just be walking around
Yeah.
doing
Like
stuff.
doing stuff with no energy.
Yeah.
that
no.
sucks.
Yeah, because it just makes it a lot harder. But basically, like yeah. So no food, no water. Those are 2 rules. You're also, some of the other rules that a lot of people don't know are you're like, the whole point of Ramadan is basically like abstinence from all worldly pleasures. So this means like you're not supposed to eat, no sex is one actually. Like no perfume. So you like nothing like that like has like any odor, any. Those are the only 2 I can think of right now, basically. But yeah, like no sex, no perfume.
what about like video games? Does that count as worldly?
No, I think you can still play video games. I mean, if you want to go total hermit mode and like follow it like to like the
Like,
most
super
like
hardcore.
extreme, yeah, like then yeah, don't do video games and stuff. Technically, like you can listen to music, but you're not. Music is also like kind of one of those things that's like you should probably, because like I mean, as you know, like a lot of like rap lyrics and stuff just like aren't
What
really
about?
the best.
But I mean, what if
so-
it's like worship, like Muslim, like worship?
yeah, so
music?
so if it's
That's-
like if it's like prayers and like those like Arabic songs and stuff, like you can like listen like that stuff, because we recite them anyways every night at mosque, like
Yeah.
for like a brief period of time. So it's like that kind of stuff's fine, but like most people don't listen to that casually, like unless you're like a pope or a priest,
Yeah.
like in our religion. So
There was also like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember you like a couple years ago you told me something about how like you can't travel a certain number of miles away from your hometown.
I'm actually really surprised you remember that.
Yeah.
But like I had that thought earlier, but I just totally forgot to bring it up. So like this one, a lot of people don't follow this, but like it's like one of the more important rules too. So it's like there's like a certain boundary limitation where you can't like leave a certain radius. So basically for me, like since I live in Seattle, coming back to Sammamish actually breaks that boundary, but it's really complicated because like if after you break your fast, there's no boundary limitation. So that's why my parents usually just like pick me up like at night or something like that, because after you're breaking your fast, so it's like 9 p.m.
Breaking your fast meaning
all rules are
just,
off?
Meaning just
Yeah, all rules are off.
Oh.
So you can put perfume, you can do whatever you want. Like, yeah.
Okay, so it's only
Interesting.
during when the sun is up.
Yeah.
But for the whole month, it's a month, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But you can do whatever you want at night.
Yeah, basically.
Oh.
I
It's
like
like the purge, kind of.
yeah, the purge, yeah. So, but yeah, the boundary limitations basically like, so I can go, it's kind of, I don't know the specific rules, but I know that like, so like since I go to UW Bothell, right, like going to class doesn't break my thing because I'm going Seattle, I'm taking Lake City, so I'm going over, so it's like Seattle, Kenmore, then Bothell, so you can go 2 cities deep. That's why if it's Sammamish, the issue is that like you hit Bellevue, Mercer Island, then Seattle.
Oh, so it's city based.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
You can go 2 cities away
So
from.
it's 2 cities or a certain mile radius too, but I forgot what the mile radius is. Whichever one, like you can pick the longer one, whichever one
Yeah.
works better. So yeah, but you can't break that or else it just breaks. But you can break it after your like
Yeah.
fast is over. Whenever,
Interesting.
yeah.
Do you know like the reasoning behind it, or is it just like really confusing?
It's I think that like there's a lot of reasons, but I think the main reason is basically just because like if you're doing Ramadan, they want you to like be praying 5 times a day. They like you're supposed to be like just basically trying to like abstain from everything, and like traveling kind of hinders that. Like it just makes it harder to do all those things.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
traveling restrictions are just in place just so you can like
Follow it easier.
Yeah, follow it easier. So
Okay.
yeah.
So when sun goes down, does everybody just go ham and just like, and just like shove their
Basically,
face full?
see the only hard thing though is that like everyone thinks that you just eat like an endless amount, but like you can't eat that much more past like your typical meal because you might be hungry, but like you still get full just as
stomach-
Yeah,
fast.
like you,
yeah,
you
your
still
stomach,
get
yeah.
full.
Yeah, so it's like hard. You gotta have to like you basically have one meal like right like when that ends, and then you have some snacks throughout the night. And most people go to bed around like 11 or 12, like right after they come back from mosque, and then wake up at like 2:33 a.m. and like have breakfast.
more,
yeah,
and then
eat
go back
more,
to sleep
and
again.
then and go back to sleep.
So you're just like running on low sleep then for like
Yeah,
a month, right?
it's basically yeah. But the thing is like what
I mean, you
I
can
do.
sleep during the day if you want to, right?
Yeah, you can sleep during the
like,
day,
people
but
go to work,
but
though,
people go to work
Yeah.
and stuff, so it makes it really tough because like
Ramadan's a grind.
yeah, it really is. So, and a lot of people think Ramadan's like really unhealthy and like bad for you and stuff, but you're just like the way that like, I mean, so I told my dad about that and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, isn't it like really unhealthy and stuff? And he basically sent me like this like research study. And like basically what the research study said was that Ramadan's actually like, yeah, you might be depriving yourself of like, but as long as you drink the standard amount of water you're supposed to at night, you're still like hydrated throughout the day, and you're still having like 2 meals a day, like if you're doing it
Yeah.
right. But the way that it works is actually like during Ramadan for like that 1 month period, you're basically giving your body a break, because if you think about it, your body, it's a machine, right? You're always constantly processing food, other like things,
Yeah.
stuff like that through it. So like when your body's not having to process, yeah, you might get hungry and your stomach kind of grumbles a little bit, but like you're basically giving like that machine like a break to like not be processing
Yeah.
all the time and just like clearing it out.
Yeah.
So
Well, in recent years, I've actually read a lot about like intermittent fasting and different types of fasting that are like actually like really good for you.
Yeah.
like
I've heard about that
reset
too.
your body.
When you are at your mosque, do
Yeah.
they like it's not preaching or whatever, but is it in English or is it in a different language?
It's for the most part, it's like, so it's kind of hard to explain, but like my language, like the Quran is like written in Arabic and stuff, but so like a lot of people can understand Arabic, but like the way that we were like our language, the language of like my type of Muslim, because there's like 20-30 different types of Muslims.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our language is like a hybrid. It's written like Arabic, but it's spoken like a language called Gujarati.
Oh.
So it's like a hybrid like language.
So you can speak that?
So I can speak that language.
Like fluently?
I used to be able to do it really fluently. Like I
Damn.
could still talk to you like and
Just
say
throw out
like
a couple phrases for us.
Could you give me like a sentence?
yeah. So tell me something to say and I'll
Be
say
like,
because I'm not creative to think of something right now.
Like,
I could do something basic like hi,
Say-
my name is Murtaza or something.
no, say
Are you trying to make fun of? You're looking
I'm
at
trying to
Kyle.
make fun of
Yeah,
Kyle.
you're definitely trying to make fun of Kyle. You're giving him that dirty look.
Sexy and everyone loves him.
just say everybody likes Kyle, but sometimes he's annoying.
Okay.
Crap. I'm trying to find a word for annoying, but
But sometimes he's stupid.
I can say everybody likes Kyle pretty
Okay,
easily.
yeah.
But like,
Sounds better to me.
All right, whatever.
Bada Kyle ne gana gameche. That means everybody likes Kyle a lot.
Oh, a lot.
All right.
What about like
I like this language.
what about something a little longer? Like I have to go back to school tonight, but I'll see you next weekend.
મને સ્કૂલ પાછું જાવ છે પણ મેં તમારે I can't think of next weekend. I can't think of I can like communicate. I can understand it really well, but like certain words I just like don't know how to say just because like
there's not a direct translation.
Well, I used to be able to because when I lived in Singapore, I actually learned this language before I learned. Like I was able because my parents would only talk in like our language before, so I literally picked it up when I was a kid before I even like learned English. Like it used to be my primary language, but then like when you stop speaking it all the time and like you stop going to mosque as much, like and I like hardly ever like speak it anymore. So it's like I can fluently understand, can't speak it that well. Yeah, which kind of sucks.
So about Singapore, we're on the podcast with a Singaporean fugitive.
Is that fair to say?
Okay, so I'm not a fugitive unless I defy. So okay, let me just recap.
Let's explain the situation.
Okay, so everybody that is either born in Singapore or has Singaporean citizenship, those are the two criteria, have to go through a process called NS, which stands for National Service. And the way that national service works, like the thing is, if you're like living in Singapore and you're growing up there, everyone does it just because it's part of the system. So it's like not like weird like to go through it, but like the issue comes when you move away from Singapore because then they still legally, I don't know why, because if you're not living there, what's the point of doing it? But like their like government is just really strict because like when you think about it, Singapore is a small country. Like the only way, like if you've ever gone to a war, like allies are all it can like depend on because it's like military might, it's like not really there. So that's why like countries that are smaller like that just go through like everyone gets trained for national service in case like you have to like take up arms and like go to war or whatever, like girls and guys. I think for girls it might be optional, I'm pretty sure, like, but for guys it's like required. And so
how long? 2 years?
Yeah, so it's 2 years, and the way that it works is just basically like it's like 5 days a week, like, and it's basically just boot camp. Like you dress up in the whole like military thing, whatever. You're
but
like,
you don't have to necessarily be one like on the front lines. Like could
well,
you be
no,
like an engineer?
It's training.
Like...
like that. Yeah, you could also you could try out for like different things. Most people just go like through everyone has to go through I think basic training for sure.
Okay.
But like say you actually have to go to like war or something, like then you could be like a medic, engineer, depending on whatever you're qualified for most. You get like
be a sniper.
Yeah, I could be a trained sniper, just a trained
Singaporean sniper.
They can make a movie
they
about
could
you.
make
All right.
Yeah. But yeah, so like the basic thing, I think you're supposed to do it after like high school or something, like is when like most people do it, but like their like educational system's also like a little different, like because like you have more like they call it primary, secondary, and then I don't know what the last one is, but like basically like their years are different. Like it's not like us where we go through 5 years of elementary, 3 years of middle, 4 years of high. So I forgot how their whole system works, but you're supposed to do it roughly around high school, end of high school time. And basically what happened was my dad really like, I mean, I didn't want to go, period, right? And the way that it works is you can't really get out of it, but like he kept getting it deferred over and over again. So I think he got it deferred after middle school.
This was while you still lived there?
Yeah, no, while I lived here. So
while you lived here. So when did you move from Singapore to here?
I moved here when I was 7.5. So I think that was middle of.
I skipped in our 3rd grade class.
Oh
yeah, we had Bushy. Yeah, wait, did we have Bushy?
Yeah, we were all in the same class.
I had no idea we all had Bushy.
He moved here and they're like, "Hey guys, this is the new student. This is Murtaza."
He always had Bubblicious.
Oh yeah, dude, I
always had Bubblicious.
I forgot about that,
bro. That's how we met. I forgot. Yeah. We were some of the first people you met when you moved from Singapore.
You know what was unfortunate is the first person I met was Bennett when I moved here.
That's funny. I like Bennett.
No, Bennett's cool,
Bennett's
but like
a funny guy.
Bennett just scared me a little bit when I first moved here because he was
He's
just
a lot to handle.
Yeah, he was just a lot, and I was just like, I liked Bennett, but I was just like, so this is what an American is like.
An American. So you moved here in elementary school.
Yeah.
And your dad kept getting it deferred so that you wouldn't have to go back? Like,
yeah, because like you can get it deferred, or else you have to. So I think after middle school, he got it deferred pretty like easily because there was like the first deferment to like at least like the end of high school, and then like high school he made a trip to Singapore just for like business reasons and stuff, just because he had like I actually have no idea why he went, but I know it was just like some like financial stuff that he wanted to close out. I think we'd like sold like our apartment or something there, so he wanted to like get all the money with the government settled out. And like my sister also had like a little like, because the government gives like people that are born there like certain funds and stuff, so he wanted to clear that account and like transfer, like reasons like that. And basically like when he went there, like he like at some point he like knew some like ambassador in Singapore that he'd like met along his journeys, and so he like just like hit him up and like got in contact with him. My dad's just like, he's just a big networker guy. Like, dude, every time we go on vacations, like I swear to God, he takes a day or two off and meets up with some guys never met off Twitter, and like they like discuss like politics and a bunch of. They like invite him out to dinner all the time. So every trip that I've taken, like the last 3, he's like, ever since he made a Twitter, it's been his like newfound addiction.
So he's all about like connections and like meeting business people.
Wow. Yeah. So like they invite him out to dinner and they just have like
What if he gets catfished?
He thinks he's meeting up with like some ambassador. It's just like some random guy.
Some fat old guy.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, so he met like this he had met this ambassador at some point. So basically he like from the back end of like the government system like finessed me off of it, but like it's more of like a long-term deferment. So he got it deferred again till I'm I think 21, which is like this October. And
then
so,
what?
Damn.
Well, our plan is basically, so you got to defer till like I'm 21, and the like, but it's kind of like a little probationary thing. So basically there's like some conditions. I don't think I can, so I'm not allowed to use Singaporean passport to like travel and stuff, even though I totally did because I went to India over spring break. But like the thing, like that only comes into play because they'll ask for my passport back after this like after I'm 21 and stuff. And so if they see stamps that I've been just mobbing all over, like going up that, then they're gonna be sussed, and but by then it'll be too late anyways. So our plan is that I get US citizenship like hopefully around the same time that my birthday is. That way I can just get my like American passport, and once I'm not
cleared.
Yeah, then I'm just cleared, because then that way, because right now I'm a green card resident, like so I'm a permanent resident, but like the rules are still a little hazy since I'm still a Singaporean passport holder. But once it's like that's been cleared off, then I really don't have a need for Singapore at all. I just don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I might just not be allowed to like go back to Singapore if I like just say like fuck you guys.
So
like
theoretically, there could be a chance where like it could be one of those things where like in the movies where like if you ever go to Singapore, they're waiting for you to get off the plane. They like put you in handcuffs and like throw you in the back of a truck.
We got him.
Yeah, that could happen. I mean, their government there is like really strict and harsh.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, you can't chew gum, right?
Yeah, gum is.
Wait.
That's why he always had Bubblicious.
Yeah, that's why when I came here, dude, gum was like gum. Yeah, no, that's literally the exact reason. Like
We talked about this before.
Yeah, like
Wait, so you can't have
because
gum in
it's the
Singapore?
cleanest country in the world when you think about it. So like literally, like there's no one that ever litters, because there's actually like fines for littering, and they're like enforced too. Like there's people that walk around, and like there's people that walk around and pick up like stuff off the streets, and there's also if like a police officer sees you spit something out the window, like
Can't spit.
well, you could spit, but you can't like say you had gum or something else in your mouth, like, and you just spit it out the window, and you get they're gonna fine you. They're not gonna arrest you, but you get fined. Like
So like, will they just take you down if they see you chewing gum? They're just like, open your mouth, spit it out, spit it out.
I don't even know if you could. I mean, like you could. It's pretty easy to get the stuff through customs. Not gonna lie, like because like I've done it. Like,
But you can't like you couldn't even buy like there was never gum. In
no,
stores
there was
or
never.
anything.
I didn't know what gum was till I moved here. I literally had no concept of what gum was till I moved here.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it was crazy. That's why when I came here, my mom would be like, "Mom, I want Bubblicious," like, or Juicy Fruit was my faves when I moved into. Yeah,
Fruit lasts like 10 seconds.
It only lasts. Yeah, that's the only thing. It's really good, but lasts like literally not very long, and then it's gone.
Dude, remember in like the middle school days, like in elementary school, when like gum was a form of currency? It's like, hey,
honestly,
if you do this for me, I'll give you 2 whole pieces of gum.
Yeah.
Or I'll give you a
Straight
piece
up.
and a half.
There's always a kid that you take out your pack of gum and everyone's like, oh, can I get one? Can I get one? Can I get one? It's
and
like,
then
well,
you're just out like
no gum.
because if you say yes to one person, you just like
Said yes to whole.
yeah,
the whole
you
lunch
just
table.
have to say yes to other people, and
Dude,
it's just
but
kind
if
of
you had like a fresh pack of gum, you had so much like big dick energy.
Yeah.
dude, I
I mean,
remember
little dick energy, I guess, but like,
Yeah.
but still. Dude, I remember like in like 7th or 8th grade, I was like a caramel apple pop dealer in middle school.
Oh.
Wait, you guys both went to Pine Lake. Yeah,
yeah.
So you guys probably like remember that, but like, cause I remember, goddamn George and Harry, like their lockers were right next to mine, so they got my code at some point.
They got your locker
because like they peeped the locker code, cause like they would ask for it every day. So after a certain
that's
point,
messed
I
up.
just refused to give it to them. They got my code. And like the funny thing was, like the way I figured it out was Harry was sitting on the bus and I sit down right next to him and he's like just like has a caramel apple pop in his mouth and I look at him, I'm like,
where'd you get that?
I'm like, yeah, I was like, where'd you get that? He's like, oh, and you know how Harry is, like he just tries to bullshit. We can obviously tell he's lying.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh yeah, I don't know. I like just like
I found it.
Yeah, I found
it
it
on the ground.
Yeah, and I'm just like, huh, really now? And then I made up some elaborate story just like that was completely false, just to get him to like admit it. Like I wasn't even mad, but I was kind of just like admit it. And I was like, yeah, so you know I put a secondary phone in there that's recording, so I can see like who got it. Yeah, I bet you didn't catch that, did you? Like if you saw a white Nokia in there, yeah, that's my backup phone. Yeah, and then he like started like you know, you could just tell he's like getting a little like anxious about it and stuff. And I'm like, oh yep, I caught you, bitch. Like
Were you one of those people that would like do those what were those elite socks and like dye them different colors and
oh,
sell them to people?
so
But yeah, didn't you have a business
Didn't
where
you
you
do-
So
dyed
I-
people's socks?
I didn't have that. Basically, what I do is like so Alex Sai
Yeah, I
was the one that would like what doesn't make any sense to me is that like he'd dye those socks and like there'd be some cool designs and stuff, but like he would literally like be buying them. He'd go down to like Oregon and buy them from like in like for the outlet store or whatever. So it's like $9 or $10 per like pair of elites and stuff. Dye them up. He learned how to do that somehow. And then like so he got banned and blacklisted from eBay like on multiple different things because he'd shill bid and do all these like not cool practices. So he started using my address and we just had like a chain ring of like accounts on like different addresses.
It seems very illegal.
Yeah, it's not good, but like basically like he was using my account and we'd only go to the library to list things because the IP is like
Wow, you guys were really paranoid.
no,
about
and
it.
like
grinding.
and when we texted about any of this, we would literally like since eBay has spyware that he's suspected of, we literally wouldn't text about it. We'd only call about it.
You'd use, like,
and,
code words, like-
yeah, and use code words for like meeting
banana,
Do you have
banana.
do you have the bananas? Did you dye the bananas
Did you
yet?
try the bananas yet? And like what was crazy though was that like those socks literally sold for like $50 to $60 a pair. I don't know how on like eBay. He would just make a killing off those
Well,
socks.
I mean, they looked pretty cool, and like that was kind of the thing. At least when we were in middle school, was just like bright colors, like any
Neon.
like, rainbow,
Yeah.
neon. Yeah.
basically wear that with like orange basketball shorts and you're
Yeah.
cool in middle school.
Every neon you can get.
I tweeted last year, like I was like, my style has not changed from basketball shorts
Same.
and basketball shirts since middle school. Like I wear the same shit.
Yeah, me too.
Taj, do you have it? So obviously the name of the show is Peak to Middle School. Mm-hmm. We have plenty of middle school stories that we've told a lot of like our funnier ones. Do you have any stories from growing up about us or about yourself or anything that, you know, maybe has never seen the light of day that you're like, I should tell this story?
Let me think about this one because I know for a fact that like personally I feel like I don't really know. I feel like I can't like really say I've like peaked at any point in life so far. I mean
good.
like
You shouldn't. Yeah.
I feel like life's been like pretty good consistently. Like yeah, there've been some years that weren't as great as others, but I don't think I've ever had like I've had shit years in comparison to like really good years, but I feel like every year's been like pretty like chill. Like nothing like horrible has like happened where I've just been like into a depression and stuff. But like
You've never ran over a dog.
I've never.
So you've just been like steady incline, maybe a little
I
flat,
mean,
little he's going up.
Exactly. It's like it's more like this, maybe a little bit more
Yeah,
inclined, but like yeah. I'm trying to think. Let's see, middle school
Or even high school. There's got to be some Taj shit. Like the most interesting man in the world definitely has gotten up to some shenanigans here and there, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, God, I don't know why this is so hard for me to think of. I feel like
It's
they're
okay. You think about that. We'll come back to it.
all
Okay?
right. I'll keep in the
So-
back of my mind.
One thing I wanted to ask you about. You go to UW.
Yeah.
You live with our buddy Willig, who was on the podcast.
Oh, hell
You're his
yeah.
roommate.
Still have yet to watch that.
Is there anything?
Do you have any dirt on him?
Do you have any dirt on Willig?
So, what am I allowed to say in podcasts? What am I not allowed
That's a
to
good
say?
question.
That's what's
I mean, anything
discretionary?
that he wouldn't want to sue you over.
Oh, there's so much you could sue me. I don't know. I feel like honestly, like living with like Kosuke and Willig is like probably one of the most like chill things ever. Just because like we like to date, we've never had a single fight or argument about literally anything. The only thing that they've like brought up to tell me to like not do as much, which I've gotten better about, is like not
Farting.
have. Wait, what?
Farting.
Farting.
Tom
Okay.
just rips ass
Shitting in
everywhere.
the sink.
Shitting the same.
Walking around butt ass naked.
Despite I'm all about brotherhood, but there's a level of clothes that I like to keep on around anybody.
Right.
So the only thing that's like ever been like a concern that they've brought up is just like I like fall quarter and like half of winter quarter. I just used to have people over like 4 to 5 times like a week till like 4 a.m.
And the social guy.
Yeah,
You
and
just like being
Social
with people.
butterfly.
I just do. And like the issue, which I totally understand, is like Willig's room is right here and our living room's right here and the wall is like maybe this thin.
So he just hears
So
every
he
word.
hears everything that we say, anything that's playing on TV. So like unless he's like
can't
fucked
talk
up, he just can't go to bed. Like yeah. So that's like the only thing which I've gotten better about this quarter.
Are you
so.
the type of person that you just can't stand just like being by yourself? Like, do you always try and like
Dude.
have something planned or hang out with somebody or like
See,
go to an event?
Yeah, I feel like I've definitely been like that. Like in high school, it was different because it's like you don't like you see people every day no matter what. So it's like you get like your little social fix, but you don't need to hang out with people after every day. But like when I was living at home, like I feel like I had like for the first years of college, I had like more alone time than I'd ever had because like you don't go to class like every day, like and it's for shorter durations every day. And like you pick the days that you want to go out to like UW and see your friends or like kick it with people at home. So I got a lot more used to that. But then when I did summer living like this last summer at my fraternity.
Can you explain that, like for people who don't know, like what does that mean?
Yeah, so basically the way that a lot of schools actually don't have the whole summer live-in thing, but schools that are like in cities and stuff have it. Like schools like Walsey don't have that because no one wants to stay there over the summer because there's like
it's in the middle of
it's in
nowhere.
the middle of nowhere. Like there's no internships,
jobs,
like nothing, so you can't really. But basically, the point of summer live-in is basically like it's all centered on rushing, and rushing is basically, for anyone that doesn't know, it's like the whole process of like
Joining a
recruiting, joining a fraternity, recruiting for guys. And basically why we do summer living is because we have usually roughly around 40 guys, 45 guys, and like a little bit less, like roughly 40 girls like live in. So that way you have a good mix of guys and girls that are all living in one house. And there's like 3 to 4 rush events every single week where it's like everything's free. Like alcohol is like sponsored and paid for, like and we also have a pool, so that just makes it really
shit.
nice over the
Sounds
summer.
like death.
Sounds death waiting to
There's
happen.
there's like a basketball like hoop too, so you can play pool basketball. It's like 10 feet on one side too, so you can like dive and stuff. And then there's like a deck with like a built-in barbecue that's hardlined with the propane tank, so it's infinite like gas.
Oh my God.
And like I don't know, it's just a really good spot to like hang out. So basically we use that as like our main like rush spot. But we do activities like all over. Like we plan like different like events and stuff. We take them like canoeing and stuff. So basically like summer is just built on like getting guys to like join like throughout like the summer. And like they have like a quota of like 25 to 30 guys of the summer like to like join. And so yeah, that's basically like what summer living stand around. That's why girls live in. Also, it's dirt cheap. For guys, it's like 12 to 1500. For girls, it's 400 to 500
for the whole
the
summer?
entire summer.
Oh my.
That
Wait.
starts like June like 20th.
Why is it so much cheaper for girls?
Because the thing is, girls are bigger rush assets than guys are. Because like when guys come out from high school, you need girls to hit on them, flirt with them.
shit!
Like
You literally bring like half the girls be like, "Hey,
Yeah.
go hit on that guy so he'll join our frat."
And if girls are living there and they're getting like free summer living and all like every like booze and everything's free. Like there's no reason why they're not, especially if they like know like girls that like live in the house usually like know guys from like you know like the entire year.
All
like we
right.
get those girls to live in. So
I got a question.
yes.
Oh boy.
40 guys, 40 girls living in a house during the summer.
Oh, it's
That
rowdy.
just sounds like orgies waiting to happen.
You know,
like,
it's a lot of.
Have you? Is there anything that you can talk about?
Is that one of the events?
Have you ever
maybe?
just seen like
Orgy?
any crazy shit, like any Project X type shit where you're like, wow, I didn't think that happens in real life.
Honestly, like I feel like at some houses that might be like in most houses the thing is like orgies don't happen, but there's definitely a lot of like you know, one of our we have this just a quick digression, we have this thing called Founders Day where and it's basically the day that like every fraternity was founded and like built and stuff. So like
It's like their new year for the fraternities.
So ours is I forgot, it's like 19th or 20th, May 19th or 20th, but we did ours like on the 18th because it's you can't time it like exactly because it shifts. And so a couple of years ago, like 1 or 2 years ago, someone told me a story about how this founder came up and he was just like and he was telling us that like back in the day we used to straight up throw porn parties. So literally like girls and guys would just be straight up just like half naked, just partying, drinking. This was a different era though. Greek systems used to be way crazier back then. So shit like that would like happen back in the day, and now we're just like if we even like considered doing that and word got out, we'd be instantly shut down.
It's
like
probably back when the elephant walk was prominent.
that was by the way, that was a real thing. Like that definitely did happen.
Did you?
No,
Is that you speaking from experience?
People when I first joined, people actually said that's like one of our initiation rituals and stuff, but it was just a joke. Like everyone was like being serious about it, and I was like, I
don't know if I want to do that, guys.
Honestly, I would have. The thing is, like, if like your
Honestly, I
entire
would've done
PC's doing it, it's like
That's why I
fuck
signed
it,
up.
Like, that's why I signed up. Brotherhood. But yeah, like people like hook up like a good amount and stuff, like, but like it's not like any like orgies happen, but like a good amount of guys and girls do hook up.
What's like the most, like I asked my sister this when she was on, and I asked Willig, like what's the most like college situation that you've like experienced where you're just like you ever witnessed someone like
or
no, like have you ever witnessed someone like fall off a building like because they're too drunk, or like someone that like you know like befriended a homeless guy then brought him into your rager and like had a like party with him, or like you know like anyone just showed up with like a giraffe on a leash, like ever had any like weird shit like that?
Honestly, like so far like I'd say like our freshman year, since I joined like 2 years like late. Our freshman year, a lot of crazy stuff used to happen, but like the Greek system just changed so much in the last 2 years. Like so many houses are getting suspended, or like can't throw parties, or you know like are just unrecognized or getting shut down. That it's like a lot of that stuff like is like mitigated. Like our risk management has just gotten way better because like if we want to be around, we just can't do that. But like I don't know. So I can't really think of anything like super crazy that's happened besides the general degeneracy of people like pissing on each other, peeing everywhere.
Wait, pissing on each other?
Some people just like literally just have like peed on each other.
Like for fun,
like,
or
just-
like
No,
other
just because they're too drunk and just like ended up.
I just picture two guys like facing each other.
Yeah.
Peeing on
That's
each other.
like
Wait,
they
they
basically
face
just
each
like
other?
So we have this this was I was the third guy in this, but like there was like one. So behind we have like the whole pool area, and then there's like 5 trees, and like behind there's like 2 holes that we dug, one for yakking and one for peeing in case you can't make it to the bathroom, and it's like in the dirt. And so I was like, there are 2 guys here, and I was just sitting here. My stream was landing perfectly fine. These 2 were just blacked out. So they like started off going like this, and slowly it started crossing and then getting on their legs and stuff.
Okay, wait. So you're saying there's a hole.
Yeah.
You're standing pissing in the hole.
Yeah, and there's trees right here that block, so no one can see you like
alright.
peeing.
And
yeah.
2 more guys come up to the hole. So now there's 3.
Yeah, there's 3 of us.
And you're just minding your own business. But then their streams start to go haywire.
Yeah.
And start to just fly back and forth.
It's like a fire hose. Like whoa.
Yeah. Does their stream hit you?
No, there's because they were just going like this way, and I was the triangle point right here. So
I'm just, like,
I was just
observing,
here
like, this
clear.
is
I was
weird.
just like, this is really, really
Did
odd.
their stream
but-
hit each other?
It hit each other, and the streams hit each other's streams, and then hit each other's
Clash of
like
the Titans.
pants. And yeah.
Does anyone ever fall in any of these holes?
No, because it's not that
Oh.
deep. It's honestly just like maybe a foot deep. It's like not very deep at all. Like
you could still stumble.
I mean, you still could. That'd be kind of gross, but you could. But
Suck.
our chef used to actually come to our parties like sometimes.
Your
she's
chef
like a
would raise
40.
with you?
Yeah, she's like a 40. I have a video of her taking just a straight pull of Vitali, like
She probably just like praised that video, never sees the light of day.
dude,
Jesus.
she's honestly so dope. She actually like while she's cooking, she's high all day and she just makes our food like just baked. And like you come into the kitchen, she's just like, hey, want a rib? And I'm like, sure. Yeah. She has a
Okay.
dab pen that she just constantly rips all the time.
So basically, does everybody in the fraternity smoke? Like for the most part, is it like
There's-
a large majority since you're in Seattle and it's
There's more drinkers, I'd say, in my house than like stoners, but there's a lot of we have like a group chat of everyone that does smoke, and there's like 30 out of like 100 that like live in or live like close to the like area,
Yeah.
like a live out or something. I'd say there's like 30, 32
I
that
would
like
have thought
do.
more. I
Yeah,
would think everyone. I feel
there's a lot of just like people that just like purely drink because like they either just like don't like smoking because I guess it's like an acquired taste, you know, like not everybody like because I know the first 5 times I did it I wasn't like that big of a fan, but like it takes a little bit of getting used to like actually start like liking
we
it.
talked about
So.
John's first time.
Yeah, so I actually was wondering. So we talked about my first time when I like literally like died at Kyle's apartment and like my head hit his wall and there was a hole in the wall.
I don't think I ever heard about that. Give me a quick synopsis.
quick summary?
Yeah, just
I
give me
mean, I'll give you like an elevator pitch basically.
Okay.
I took an edible at Kyle's apartment. I'd never smoked before in my life, which apparently an edible for your first time is not a good idea.
no, it's terrible.
And then I
idea.
waited 2 hours and it didn't hit me, so I was like, oh well,
No, it was hitting him.
Okay, apparently it was hitting me, and I didn't realize. I was like, oh, like it must be a faulty edible. Like it must not work. So then I hit my friend's dab pen twice, which apparently was
smart.
like not smart. And then they both, the dab pen and the edible, hit a lot at the same time, and
God.
the world started strobing. And then I like passed out on Kyle's sink and like,
Passed out standing up with his head on the sink. And he was
I-
like twitching, and I was like, John, you okay? He's
So I
like,
guess my question for you is: have you ever like had any like witnessed other people where they're like way too high, or they're like just like doing like some crazy shit, or like what the fuck is going on?
Honestly, I feel like I've had that happen to me more than I've ever witnessed like other people. Like it's really bad, but like there's actually like 2 like specific instances that were just like really terrible. One was like I think this was sophomore year, like probably spring quarter or something, but like I remember I like got off like class. I went to my homie's like apartment like in Kirkland right afterwards, and we were just kicking it, and like we just took a lot of bong rips, like smoked also like smoked a blunt, and so I was like already really high, and then I was like, and then he makes like homemade edibles, right?
Okay.
But the issue with homemade edibles is that like if you have a small like square, right? Like well, I mean if you have a whole pan, like sometimes when you home make it, it doesn't spread out evenly. So some squares are stronger than
what I've
other
heard.
squares by a lot
Oh,
because
okay.
it's not evenly distributed. Like,
Yeah.
and so he gave me one of his squares for like, you know, like I'm selling them for like $2 or something. And I was like, sure, I'll eat it. Like, and I thought like I had taken one of his before and it like hit, but it was like very manageable. Like it wasn't that bad. So I popped it and then I drove home. So I popped it and I drove home, and like I make it to like another friend's house, and he basically just has like this like keef snap waiting for me, and it's like the like bong's full of ice. And
Wait, so did you realize as you were driving home, you're like, oh shit, like I'm like really fucked up?
I felt high, but like not like super,
Not
like,
to the point where you were like worried or
yeah,
anything.
not to the point where I was worried. It was just like, it was like very like tolerable. I was still completely cognizant of everything
Yeah.
going on, but the edible hadn't hit. And then I took that keef snap, and
I don't even know what that is, but go on, whatever.
it's like highly concentrated marijuana,
Okay.
basically. So I took a snap of that and like torched it down in like one hit, and after that I was so baked, and then the edible hit at the same time, and it was kind of like what you were experiencing, where like I literally like I was sitting on a couch when both of them just collided and my mind just exploded. I was sitting there and I was just like, I like literally like couldn't even like move my hands very well, and like my vision started spinning, and I'm like, this is not
Your
good.
vision was spinning.
My vision was spinning too, and I was just like, I tried to get up, and I just felt so queasy in my stomach. Just everything was just wrong at that point. Everything was just so wrong. And then I beelined for the toilet, and I spent about an hour roughly just on the toilet yakking, and I couldn't even see. Like when you yak when you're like drunk, I think it's very different because you're just numb to everything. It doesn't even feel bad or gross in my opinion, but like when you're high, all your sensations are like
Feel everything.
yeah, you feel everything. Like you feel it like coming out your throat. It was just the worst. And then for the next like 30, 40 minutes, my friend get me a bucket and lays me down. He just puts the bucket right by my face. That way I can like try and calm down. I'm just yakking in a bucket, and then I take a nap for like another hour, and then I'm like finally like relatively okay. And I'm like, all right, like I you know, it's been some time. Like, yeah, it'll fade. So that was one of like the worst experiences of only time I've ever like greened out straight out. Like,
so is greening out Kyle and I, we were actually, when we were talking about my story, we didn't know, is greening out, do you have to like throw up to technically green out, or like was what I experienced where I was like passing out and waking up and like passing out again? Was that
I feel like there's like a lot of people, like it's like a general term for either like, I feel like what like what's happening to you would be in that realm. I feel like you just like forget a gap in your memory because you're just so like, you know, high that you just can't like, you just don't really, you just kind of like remember, like it's kind of like browning out where you remember like
browning it. Wait,
it's like when you remember parts.
When you remember parts, but there's holes in your memory.
Never
like,
heard
you
of that
can't,
before.
Like blacking out is like nothing.
Hard, like nothing.
Browning
you just
out's
wake
like,
up the next morning and your bed is blacking out.
Yeah. Browning out's
yeah.
like, I don't know, like when you're saying, I don't know how I got from the bathroom to the
outside.
That's like
yeah.
browning out. So greening out is like the equivalent of that, where like you can remember like parts of the night, but you don't remember all the details or anything like else really. So
So another thing that we just thought of while we were kind of taking a little break real quick, when we were in high school, you decided to throw a rager while your family was gone.
No, so I lured my family away.
What? You lured your family away?
Dad, you guys should go away for the weekend.
You guys should just like leave. Like,
no, dude,
I just really want to be at home.
It's so much worse than that. Like,
oh my gosh.
Basically, what I did was, so like, I don't know. I feel like senior year was kind of like really lame in terms of like the party scene. Like we had maybe like 4, maybe 5 total like parties throughout the year, which honestly, like for high schoolers, like it gets your fill of parties, I guess. Like it's like whatever, but like I don't know. I just felt like it was our senior year, and like the seniors above us had always been doing stuff. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna step up and fucking go.
I'm gonna take one for the team.
I'm
that guy.
I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna step up and just throw something here. Like
that is the most Taz thing.
Meanwhile, he didn't even drink either.
I didn't even drink at this point either. Like I hadn't
You never drank alcohol, and you wanted to throw a Project X at your house.
We called it Project Taz. Remember that? That
was the name of it?
Yeah, that was the name of it.
I wish I went to that.
Yeah, I didn't even go.
I was anti-partying at that point in my life.
Well, yeah, actually, so were you. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't drink.
Yeah. But yeah, basically what happened was it was like the week before winter break or whatever, and I really I was just like, you know what? Like, what better way to kick off winter break than just throwing a rager,
and
kicking my family out.
Also, I think it's important to say for people who like obviously don't know Taz in person, he's friends with literally everybody. Like, so it's not like, I'd say Kyle and I were kind of in a group where we like weren't like the popular kids, but we weren't like
weird
nerds or like the weirdos. We were just like somewhere in the middle. And Taz was like the floater. Like he has his friend group.
Yeah,
but
I feel like I was also like just in the same.
But you were also
like
kind of in our friend group.
Yeah,
and,
like
kind of another.
Taz is in like every friend group. He's like the floater where like everybody like
I guess so.
Taz is the type of friend where it could be like Kyle's and my friend group could go do something, and if Taz came with, it'd be like totally natural and wouldn't be weird at all. But if I was just to invite some other random dude from high school, it'd be like, why is this guy coming?
Yeah. That's also because I feel like I've like spent a lot of time with you guys all individually too, so it's like not like weird. Like also I feel like the reason why I like was able to get close with a lot of different people is actually hiking. Like not gonna lie, like when we just spent so much time like alone together, like 5 hours like on a mountain just with like 3 other people, that's like some severe bonding right there. Like
plus you're just someone who just like talks to anyone, you can talk to anybody about it, whatever.
So like as long as you're not antisocial weird.
Like I mean we would go on hikes with Taz all the time, which like by the way for people listening, like at least where we grew up, that's kind of like a common weekend activity, just where we live. Like, I don't know, to a lot of people, it's probably weird. Like, why would you go on a hike? But it's like,
we're surrounded by mountains.
yeah, we're just surrounded by mountains. So it's like, hey,
Exactly.
you want to go on a hike? It's like, fuck it, why not? And like, we would go all the time. Dude, there was a year when Taz and I, we went on one like every weekend, dude.
Dude, I think we sometimes even like twice a week, maybe more than
Yeah,
that. Like,
Taz-
well, over the summer, it was like more than twice
There was
a
a
week at
time
times.
when Taz had conquered like every single hike in like Washington.
He
Like,
reached every peak.
No
but like,
mountain unturned.
I remember we would get to these top of the mountains and he would just like talk to random dudes and would just like, you're a very talkable guy.
Yeah, I guess so.
But back to Project Toss.
Yeah. Okay. So
Oh,
find
yes,
out
yes,
more.
yes. So so basically what happened was as I said, I wanted to step up and get a party going because there hadn't been one since early November. And so what I did was I like texted my family friends and I was just like, I was trying to get them the weekend right before winter break, but they were going to be out of town. So I was just like, some of my parents' close friends that live like all the way, that they lived in Renton at this point. So I was just like, hey, do you mind like inviting like them over for like a nice dinner and like blah, blah, blah. Like, and the thing is, I knew that whenever they go to this person's house, they never come home that early. Like they always stay for like, cause they're just really close. So they always just like kick it to like 12:30, 1 a.m. at night and then drive back. And I was like,
So
you
your
were
plan was like
planning-
throw a party, everyone leave, and then
get
my
it picked
parents get
up
home.
before they get home that night.
yeah.
Bold strategy.
Taz,
Bold strategy.
oh my god.
Not very important.
I thought you were like your parents were gone for like a whole weekend or something.
No. It was literally like part of the night, and
Oh my.
and so I told them like, hey, can you invite them out? Like I'm just gonna like clean up the house for them and like make it spick and span. Because I knew I'd have to clean up after the party anyways,
It's true.
and it'd be looking spick and span. So I was just like, I have to do it at some point. Like I'll just do it then. And so like basically what I did was like they left at like 7:30, and like a couple of guys like had their like trucks and stuff all waiting and ready because they were gonna help me set up. So they were just waiting in my neighborhood, and right after they left, they come down, set up the pong table in the garage. Like I move everything out of the garage. There's just like the pong spots and some speakers. They helped me move all the furniture around and like reorganize it so that one room could just be an open like floor. Set up like the disco lights and all that like in my
Damn,
main
you
room.
went all out. You
thought
got
about
disco
everything.
lights and
Yeah,
speakers?
there was like so we had speaker. Well, I have like my parents installed like a surround sound system downstairs and upstairs.
Oh.
So I just had both of them going at the same time. So I didn't really need speakers because there was just like surround sound was loud enough. And so we just set that up, and then all like the booze was like on the kitchen island. Like that's where people just were going in and out. And
How
like,
big were you expecting this party to be? Were you expecting like just like like your close friends or like just like anybody?
Well, I was expecting like probably like 50 to 60 people. Ended up being like 120, probably
Holy
200 throughout the
shit.
night. Like my house,
20% of our class.
yeah, my house was to the point where like I couldn't move through the house. It took like
Oh
almost
my-
like 3 minutes to get from one side to the other because it was just so packed and like hot and sweaty. I like
Dude,
opened up all the windows because it was just so congested. Like
were you like at what point were you like I'm fucked?
the entire time. I'd say because like the thing is like I forgot that we're in high school, so no one knows how to control their liquor. So people were like spilling shit. Someone like hit I think it was actually I don't want to name this person because it's probably not a good idea, but like someone hit a fat yacker because it was one of the first times drinking like right in the middle of the entryway. But then like one of my other friends just cleaned it up for me because she was like, "You look stressed enough with all this going on. I got this." And I was
nice
just
of her.
like, "Bless up."
See,
So-
and in high school, it's so much different and scarier than in college because, like, there's consequences for drinking.
Yeah.
Like, if you're,
Yeah.
if you're a dumbass in college, it's just like, all right,
Go
like,
home.
go
Yeah.
home. But it's like everyone's underage.
Dude, Sammamish PDs also like got to stick up their ass. Like they send like 5 squad cars to any high school party. It's because they have nothing to do because crime doesn't really exist yet.
Yeah.
So like they literally sent like 5 to 6 squad cars, block off the neighborhood so no one can
okay,
leave.
wait, hold on.
No, not in my house.
Oh,
but other people.
oh.
It's happened at like someone else's house. I
That
remember
sucks.
over the summer.
So sorry, I kind of cut you off, but yeah,
Yeah.
go back. So people start getting there.
And so people start getting there. Like I had like a group chat with like a couple of different people, and so I just like major like groups, and so I just sent like, I'm like, all right, come now. Like I just sent it into various. Then I was like, tell everybody like that it's like time, because it was like a tentative 7 to 8 p.m. time, because I didn't know when my parents. I can't time exactly when they'll leave, and they're always late going to things. But like those guys were just on standby. Remove everything. People start getting there. Nothing terrible really happens. Like throughout the night, except for the fact that I forgot that it's winter and it's like really like wet and rainy outside, and like and people were wearing shoes inside the house and shit, right? So like my carpets, when people walked upstairs, that entire, I mean now they look fine because they've been carpet cleaned and shit, but like at the time, luckily it was dark when my parents were coming in and stuff, and I don't know how they didn't notice like hella, like, because we tried to like clean it off and stuff, but like there was nothing. It was kind of suspicious though, because like party ended. I sent my sister with them so that she could text me updates on when.
She was in on it.
Yeah, she was in on it. Like,
what a homie.
She was my little spy, and like I had my parents' location too, but I didn't want to have to check it every like 20 minutes. Like
this is the most odd shit I've ever heard. Yo, all right, wait. So so you successfully. So up to this point, everything's going sort of okay.
Yeah, like
you hosted the party. I'm surprised that you actually got people out of your house by like what time would you say?
Well,
everybody
this was around like, I'd say, now that I think about it, I think it was like 11:30. Honestly, it was kind of
a short party.
Yeah, it was like 7:30 to 11:30, so it's like 3 hours. Not the longest party, but like I needed to give myself like a good like 45 minutes just in case to like
pick all the shit.
Yeah,
up.
just to like make sure.
Yeah, that's not much time.
Was it just you picking up?
Well, no, that's the thing, is that like I had
friends.
I had friends come through. Like I don't even like, people just offered to like help, and what's crazy is that this guy, like this is actually just a crazy linkage. So my buddy's name's Austin, right? And I actually just met him again. Like, so I actually met him at that party because he was on crutches at that party, and he was just like a really like cool, genuine guy who's like offered to clean up. I'm like, bro, like, you're on crutches, you don't have to do anything, because like he went to Newport High School at the time, and so he'd come through. And then 2 years later, like, actually no, like almost 3 years later, because this was this year, like over winter break, I like, one of my friends like invited some of her friends from Wazoo over to like come, and they all crashed my apartment, and like he was one of those guys, and like and for some reason I just felt like I'd met him before for no reason. So I was just, and then so I like had a conversation with him like later that night, like when he was crashing my apartment. I'm like, yo, bro, like
I know you.
Like
somehow.
I just know. Yeah, I was like, I just know we've like met at some point. And he's just like, what? Like then we started talking. What high school do you go to? I was like, did you go to any Skyline parties? He's like, yeah, I went to one or two. I'm like, was one of them around winter break? And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, describe
Were
the
you
house.
on crutches?
Yeah, we were on crutches. And then I told him to describe my house layout, and he knew it like down. He's like, there's a room here. There's music playing upstairs. There's kind of an open space like a TV. And I was like, that is totally like, that has to be my house. You literally described the exact layout, like what was where. And so like that was just a crazy like small world story, because it's like it's been like 3 years, and we meet again out of like nowhere. So
all right, so you're stone cold sober.
Yes.
Like, you didn't drink at all.
It's not stressful.
You somehow corralled 120 people out of your house, all drunk. Didn't like you? So were people mad, or they were understanding? They're like, all right, guys, like we gotta go now.
It's pretty easy to kick people out, because all you do is cut the music and cut the lights, and then you're just like, all right,
what
like
they look like, and they're like, oh.
yeah, and then you're like, party's over. Yeah, like once you do that, people are already like, what's going on? Then you're basically just like, and I had a couple of people just help me like hurry people on. Also, like my personal like kind of rule is like 3 hours after you start drinking, 3 to 4 hours is when most people like die off anyways, because they just like, it's hard to like stay like and party all night, especially in high school. That was like roughly like the time standard like anyways, so people were like ready to like go back anyways. So they're all out, and then I have a squad of people just like swiffering, vacuuming, like me and some guys are moving the furniture back and like making sure.
But I mean, there must have been stains everywhere.
So
and
the only stain honestly was there was a stain upstairs, like a big beer stain, like maybe like, I don't know, it wasn't like huge, but it was definitely noticeable stain. I tried to like get it out and stuff, but like luckily it was like kind of in a corner, and my parents don't really ever watch stuff up there.
You just
so,
like put something on top of it, or something?
I did temporarily. I put a stool on top of it with a fan, just because it like just so it looked like it was kind of in place. And while I could figure out a solution to clean it, and I tried a bunch of different stuff. It lightened it, but it hasn't gone away. Like it's faded over time, because my parents keep it in carpet cleaners every like like 1 or 2 months. So
Yeah.
like over time, it's like gotten better and better. But it's still like if I took you to my house, and I told you the stain is somewhere here, you'd be able to find it within like 30 seconds.
Okay.
So that was one thing that was bad. The stairs were honestly the only other like really bad thing, but everything else in the house like was like clean. Countertops were like
Damn.
all like, because
Wow.
I had like 5 people helping, and my
Yeah.
house isn't like terribly huge. Like it's a pretty simple like layout, so it's
Yeah.
like easy to just like get everything like done.
So
Clutch.
how did it go wrong? What
How did-
happened? You pulled it off. It sounds
Dude,
like.
I did pull it off. I was stress free, you know, like and all the like my parents were sus about a couple of different things, but like it wasn't really like anything that they would have like caught on to.
You must have been so like.
I was so
Hello?
like
So how was dinner, mom and dad? I was a good boy. I cleaned the whole house.
exactly.
Just,
Yeah.
like, super.
So they didn't know anything?
No, so they didn't know anything at that point, and then what happened was 3 days later on Monday, like we have school, right? And it was bad because on that Monday, like, so there were student athletes there because like I don't know, and their student athletes aren't supposed to like drink because of
Yeah.
their like school like contract scholarships. I don't know what it even was, but they're just not supposed to drink. And like the gym coach's daughter basically showed her like the gym coach like all like on Snapchat and stuff,
Oh
these
my
stories and
fuck.
photos
Wait,
like
the gym coach.
it
don't-
was
don't say
yeah
people's
we're
names,
not
but-
gonna say anyone's names.
So
but
there was
basically-
a teacher's daughter who saw other people's Snapchats
Yes.
of the party.
Yeah, and showed it to this person for some odd
God.
reason. And so
Snitches
they're-
get stitches,
Exactly.
bro.
There's like, you know,
Gonna come back and I bet people hated her.
I mean,
whoever it was.
they definitely did. Like, I knew for a
Sucks.
point in time, I was like, once I find this bitch, I'm gonna ruin her. I'm actually gonna ruin her and make sure everybody knows like who she is. But yeah, like that happened, and so there were like, you know, a couple like gymnasts there, a couple like soccer team people.
So it was
there,
basically the
and-
school that eventually got involved.
Yeah,
and, like,
so-
got you in trouble.
Yeah, and the scary, like the sus thing was that like, so one person was getting called down every period. There were like 5 or 6 of us total that called down. I was the last one since I threw it, and the dean of students or whatever, like he basically brought it like, you know, he brought like everyone down one by one, and like I didn't know anything because like the time period was so short that there's no time for them to like communicate back to me and stuff like
Yeah.
on what was going on, and they were probably just so shocked that it even happened that it wasn't their first thought to like warn other
Yeah.
people. And I was the last one, and like I basically like he's interrogating me on what, and he's basically just like, you know, I was young once too, I get protecting your friends. And I was just straight up being a bitch, and I was just like, yeah, I had a lot of people over, but like, you know, we didn't like have any like substances or anything there. And he's like,
Yeah,
"Are
we're
you-"
just having fun.
Yeah, and he
jumping
was like,
around.
so you had like, and to his understanding, it was like 40 to 60 max people,
Okay.
right? So like, which is still like a lot.
So
like,
you're
for
just
one
fucking
house.
lying to this guy's face.
Yeah, because he has no proof or whatever, right? So I'm just straight up just like, nope. And then like I'm like nothing there, and then he pulls out a picture of a beer bong going into someone's mouth.
Why do
and
you have the picture?
because it was on someone's
Someone
Snapchat.
screenshotted it.
Yeah.
God,
I
what
hate
a
people,
bitch.
dude.
Yeah.
I hate people.
But that person also just said that like
Here's water.
The person said it was Mountain Dew. That they're
Oh.
because the thing is
you go.
Just imagine like
he had-
someone's like chugging Mountain Dew. Like it doesn't fucking happen.
Well, the thing is, he had bought a lot of the Chase and stuff, so he basically like had receipts,
Receipts.
from like the Mountain Dew and stuff, like for the thing. So he could have proven that, like,
actually
literally,
hilarious.
yeah. So he was just like, I can literally go and show you the receipts if you want. Like, it doesn't really matter to me.
We just really got like ton of Mountain Dew. We just love Mountain Dew.
Just a Mountain Dew party.
Yeah,
We all just got sugar
exactly.
eyes.
And you know, ate pizza,
God.
stand
Yeah.
around in a circle, talked about our feelings. You know, no
Exactly.
big
we
deal.
drank them all in red Solo cups.
Standard high school party.
Yeah.
Typical, yeah. But yeah, so like,
So-
so that happened, and then basically by the end of the conversation, like I wasn't giving him anything, so he's just like, all right, so here's what's gonna happen, like we're gonna have a talk with your like parents, and we're gonna tell them like about, you know, like what we think happened here, and we're just gonna like notify them, blah blah blah, because like clearly like I was underage, so it's like,
Yeah.
you know, the school has no business sticking their nose in these things, but like I guess they just
Yeah, it's
like
kind of
wanted
lame
to.
that they
That's what's
did.
dumb.
Like, why
It
did they
doesn't
have
make
the
any
right to
sense.
do that?
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah. So
Project Oz was a success in a way.
but
and then
also
you had to bear the consequences.
Yeah, but I also just lied to my parents, so they didn't know that I ever had a party. I just said
you got
that,
away
like,
with it?
Oh,
yeah,
so
I
to
got
this
away
day
with
they
it.
still don't really think there was a party? Or?
So like, yeah, not really. Well, my dad never found out about it. My mom, I basically told her some like warped like
I had
story.
friends over and we like sang songs and clapped hands. And
No,
Mountain
I told her straight up that like there was a different party that I'm getting framed for because there's no pictures. From
I'm getting framed.
And
Toz pulled the I'm getting framed.
that's
Oh
a gist of it. I didn't put it that way, but that was the gist of it. So like,
Mom, you don't
Mom's like,
understand.
yeah, that makes sense.
They're framing me.
yeah. So
God damn it.
I basically said that like there were like 5 to 6 like really hammered people over, and the thing is like they just couldn't go home, so I was just letting them like chill here and sober up like
Nice
in
guy.
the meantime. So I was basically like, yeah, so there were drunk people over, and the 5 or 6 people that were over were some of the people that got called down for that, and so they assumed that I was here. And like my parents also like literally I've never been caught doing anything, like nothing at this point, because
Yeah.
I've never drank or anything, so I've
Yeah.
never done anything suspect in my life for them to think that I'm like
Gonna
this
just
kind of
host
kid.
this
Yeah.
rager.
Like-
but you did.
Yeah, that's why my parents,
Wow.
like my mom, found it hard to believe in the first place, because she's just like, it's probably like wouldn't happen.
Yeah.
But it happened.
Hey,
Wow. What a crazy.
sorry I missed out on that.
I know. I
Wish
should
I
have
went.
gone to Project Toz, dude. Kyle and I were kind of lame in
I
high
was
school.
extremely lame in high school.
Yeah, I was pretty lame in high school till like senior, like to
that.
like. Well, yeah, but like I didn't really do anything until senior year, New Year's. Like that's the first time I ever like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like
so-
a lot of people that I know, at least, were like kind of late to the whole drinking. thing.
Really, I feel like everyone
compared
I
to
know is
other
super
schools,
early.
or like
Yeah.
different
Yeah.
parts of the country, I guess. Bro, like there's kids that are like getting just hammered at like 16 and stuff, and
Those
I'm like,
kids are like 13.
yeah, I'm like, what?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, especially
Yeah.
in like Europe too. But okay, you know what's crazy though is that like Europeans like just like they're like not overdose. Well, yeah, I guess they're like overdose, drunk driving rates. Everything is so much lower than like the United States, and
because like drinking is so much more normal there.
Yeah,
than,
but
No one
also
really drives either.
yeah, I guess so. I guess
much.
public transport's like a lot
Yeah.
better. But like I've just noticed that like I don't know. I feel like drinking at an earlier age and just like because if you're gonna do it later, like you might as well like not too early, but like if you just show kids like how to do it and like introduce them to it, they won't try and experiment on their own
Yeah.
like in high school and try and do all this stupid shit to like
they
hide
hide
from
it,
their
which
and
gets
hide
dangerous.
it. Yeah, which is where like sus stuff starts happening. Drunk driving starts. Also, I feel like here it's more of a problem because everyone has cars and like
Yeah.
they just want to get home and yeah.
All right, so before we wrap it up here, we've been going for a while. Honestly,
Yeah.
like we'll definitely have Toz on the podcast again soon because we could literally talk to this guy for
I
like
could probably go forever.
Toz. Literally, you could talk all day long with people.
If you give me enough stuff to talk about.
Yeah, like
probably.
you'll always
Probably.
find stuff. But so literally like months ago when I told him we were starting the podcast, what it was going to be about, and like, oh, like you got to be on it at some point. You had this one idea that you just like thought was interesting that you're like, we should just, I want to bring it up. So
Yeah.
you want to just talk about that?
Yeah, so basically this idea kind of came from like a movie from like forever ago, and I was like, it came up because like right before I talked to you about it, I actually had a dream about it like 2 days before. That's why I was like, I thought about that. But basically like the concept of the movie, which is just a cool concept to consider in general, was that what if your currency, like the world currency, wasn't monetary, like it wasn't based on dollar bills and just like that kind of value. It was
Yeah.
actually based on time, how long you get to live.
Yeah.
So you go to work every day, you get, like a week, not a week, but like a day or two worth of time, like on your, and like you just get a day
like
or
adds
yeah.
in.
Like they basically in the movie they had a physical clock like on
Yeah.
their wrists, and so it just keeps on adding time. If you do certain things, you add time. If you break laws, you lose time. So basically
If you like
And you can
steal
give
or
people
hurt
if you
time.
steal or hurt someone,
you
yeah,
lose time.
you lose time. You can also transfer time to one another. So
Yeah.
that's the one good thing is that you can like
Or
someone's-
bad though, because people could steal it from you.
yeah, people can also steal your time.
They like
Yeah.
drug you and like roofie you.
Yeah,
and
and
steal
you
Yeah.
like
your
grab your
time.
wrist or something and like.
and then
twist
you just
it.
twist it in a certain way, and then
Yeah.
it exchanges
remember
like
that
the
The
time.
movie's called In Time. If anyone wants to watch
Okay.
it, good movie.
Yeah, really, really good movie conceptually too. So,
So
but like, just imagine like how like differently, like I just feel like the world would like work. People, I don't know, I just feel like people
more
would
motivated.
yeah, people would be more motivated to actually like work harder, and like people would like support each other like a lot more too. It wouldn't just be like, oh, like I just want to get rich and that's all I care about and stuff. Like,
well, and what would be weird is like, so if you went to go like buy food, would you pay?
Yeah, you pay in
with
time.
your time.
1 hour for
Dude,
ice cream.
that would like that would like
Ice cream.
totally like change how you like what you put your value in and
think
stuff.
it-
'Cause,
Exactly.
Like if you're like not if you're like kind of poor and you like want to go get a meal, you'd much rather just like cook it at home because you're like, I only have like 2 weeks left. Like I'm not trying to give up an hour for like
exactly.
ice
Yeah.
cream.
But also, how would age work too? Because like, would you still age the same way?
Oh,
Because like, what if I'm 90 years old, but like I somehow have just like 100
Yeah.
years
So
left?
does that mean like Warren Buffett would have like 10,000 years left?
yeah,
Just
because
like-
there were. I remember like in the movie there was like I think one of the people. I don't remember exactly how it happened, but I remember he got like 112 or something years from some like where he won it like in
a
a
lottery.
game.
Oh, at a
yeah,
casino?
he won it. He gambled. I'm pretty sure at some point and he just won like all that time. And so gambling with time, that'd be an ultimate plug. But you could also die. So
that too.
yeah.
There'd be a lot of deaths.
You're
in the
literally
casino.
gambling with your life straight up. So
Like yeah, that's literally.
Jeez.
But then yeah, what happens if you get like bored? Or you like if you just want to die? Like what if you like couldn't die unless your time ran out?
no, you can die because all you could just give it to someone and then you're instantly RIP.
But I think you could get shot though and you die. But
yeah.
I don't know.
If you get shot, you can die
What happens
too.
to your time then?
What happens if you have cancer? Does that not even like
Time
matter?
like doubles.
Maybe.
It starts ticking faster.
Yeah, I think that
Maybe.
might be a thing.
That would
yeah,
suck.
that would really suck. Like if you have a
Damn.
disease.
You know
or
how like
something.
in movies, like kind of one of the scariest situations that they try and portray is like someone holding a gun to someone else's head, because that's like you're literally looking like death, like like that literally will kill you. Like if
Or
they
saying,
pull a
like,
trigger,
that?
yeah,
Like, oh, okay.
that would kill you. And so that's like this like common scene that's in a bunch of like intense movies. But if like the world was like that, I feel like the scene that would always happen would be like a close up of like 10, 9, 8. Imagine just like watching it tick down.
Okay.
What if like you had 5 seconds left? You're like, fuck, I don't want to die. And so like you just like go do something like
Steal
like,
someone's money or something? Or,
I was gonna say like you go like offer to like suck someone's dick. Like,
it's okay.
hey man, I only got 10 seconds.
I'm working one day at a time.
I'll suck your dick for like for 5 minutes.
Dang.
Damn, that'd be miserable.
I always thought though in movies when people just hold the gun up like that, like if it's right in front of me, it wouldn't be that hard to just like
Like
slap
you
the
could just like duck under and then like grab their hand.
yeah, you just like
yeah. But at the
could try
same
it.
time, like I feel like they could probably pull the trigger faster than you can like instantly, because like you're on the trigger. Like
Yeah.
you see someone do that, like going like this.
It's just like reaction.
you
I don't know,
could
like-
be, you could be
but, like
able
look
to.
how
but-
fast this is.
wow, wow, dude.
There's no way
That's
you're able to pull a
crazy,
trigger
bro.
by then.
Your reaction time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It depends. If you're like really close, maybe you could like get out of it or something. But like, I don't know, because like, you always see those like techniques to like disarm people, like
Yeah,
go
break
like
the wrist,
this,
walk away.
Yeah, just like twist their wrist away, like hit their
Yeah.
like this link somehow, and then you just the gun's dropped, and then you're safe for
Yeah.
maybe 10 seconds until they pick up the gun again, unless you get it first.
Well,
Whoa.
this was fun.
Yeah, it was.
Did you have fun, Taz?
Oh hell yeah!
Be honest.
I had butterflies the entire time. I was so
Oh,
scared.
you're so nervous.
Yeah, exactly.
The good kind of butterflies.
Yeah, great kind of butterflies.
Taz, you should leave a review on Peak to Middle School.
Oh, I'm
you
down.
should.
Wait, where
Because
exactly? Like
on Apple Podcasts, and it only take you
It only take
30
you
seconds. It would only take you 30 seconds
Oh, yeah,
or
I'm
less.
down.
how long?
Yeah, you have an iPhone, and guess what? A bunch of people listening, you're on an iPhone right
iPhones.
now. So you guys are gonna go to the Apple Podcast
the purple
app
icon.
that every iPhone has.
I never knew it existed until I
Yeah,
started
it's
using it.
pre.
I'm pretty sure it's on my phone somewhere.
It
I
is.
just never
It is.
opened it. So
Exactly.
Yeah. So Kyle, what are they gonna do?
They're going to first search Peak to Middle School,
Yeah.
find us, subscribe,
And then
and,
they're gonna
then you're
scroll
going to scroll
down.
down a little bit, click on 5 stars, and then leave a review.
just a quick question: why did you guys choose Peakton Middle School?
In our first
Like-
episodes, like that was one of the things
We did
that-
like a test episode.
yeah, we did like a test episode, and it was like Jordan said it or something at one
Yeah,
point.
well, because we were like, what describes us? And then we were like, we peaked in high school, but we're like, no, but like we didn't peak in high school. Like because like that's a common phrase, you know, like
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like people-
peaked in high
Yeah.
school.
like we peaked before high school.
Yeah, but like middle school was just like we have way more stories and stuff
Yeah.
from middle school. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyways, we'll definitely have to do this again. So let us know if you guys want Taz on again. He'll be on regardless of whether or not you want him. So
I'm here to stay.
He'll
So
be here. It's like a cockroach.
yeah.
I'll crawl right back.
But anyways, thank you all so much for listening. If you guys are on YouTube, be sure to drop a like and leave a comment. We respond to everybody and love talking to you guys. If you're not on YouTube and you're on one of the streaming platforms, check out YouTube if you want a video version.
Adds to the experience. You can see Taz's beautiful
Yeah,
face.
you can see that face. Who doesn't love that face?
Who doesn't?
Not me.
Anyways, Kyle, where can they follow you?
You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at KyleStafford36. You can follow the show at PIMS Podcast on everything.
Yep, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook,
Everything.
whatever you like. And we're on every streaming platform. So if you're a weirdo and you use Stitcher or SoundCloud still, we're up there.
Go for it.
You can follow me at Hey Narwhal on Twitter and Instagram. Taz, where can they follow you?
If they want to find you.
If there's some
or if you want to be found.
If there's some rando kid out there
random
who's just like,
fans.
man, I love that guy's
Stories and his face.
eyelash shape.
There we go.
Yeah.
You know, and
Where-
everything else.
Yeah.
Everything else. Well, I don't have a Twitter, but if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's just MURTAZA _Baconnerwalla.
Good luck. Good
luck,
fucking
good
luck.
It'll be in the description.
It'll be
Yeah. It'll be on the screen and in the description, but it's Murtaza Baconnerwalla.
yes.
And
With
it-
an underscore in between my
Yeah.
first and last.
Yeah.
It's kind of like self-explanatory. though.
It's literally like exactly
You could
how
probably
you would
spell it
think
out.
it
Yeah.
would be spelled is how it's spelled.
Sort of.
Murtaza Baconnerwalla.
Oh, you'd be surprised. People will still find a way to butcher it.
It'll be.
so.
What's
sure.
the worst anyone said your name?
It's like
Murtaza?
Murtaza was pretty bad.
Murtaza.
I haven't heard any because I just go by Taz now, so it's like
Yeah.
I've never heard anyone butcher Taz except for saying Taz, which
Taz.
is not that bad.
Mert.
Like Mert, yeah,
Mert.
Mert. Yeah, I don't know. I think Murtaza or something like that's probably one of the like weirdest ones I've ever like heard. But that's
Well,
about it.
in our dystopian class, our teacher, we had a sub and she called me Kylie. Remember that?
oh
She
yeah,
goes, Kylie Stafford, and everyone just looks at me. I'm like,
dude,
Yep.
it's how do you even get
don't
Kylie? It's
know.
literally
Kyle's
Kylie.
Reed, basically.
Like,
It's the whitest name.
just read it.
All right. Well, anyways, with all that being said, there's new episodes every Monday and Thursday. So subscribe if you guys are new. There's new videos on my personal channel called The Narwhal every Wednesday. That has Kyle in a lot of them.
Yes.
And we'll talk to you guys later. See ya.
Love you.
bye bye.